G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here on the brand new expansion for Age of Empires 4. This is the Sultan's Ascent. Today we're playing on the map. Oh, you're gonna have to forgive me, I can't remember this one. It's always, it's not Hideout, I can't remember. Hidden Valley. We got it eventually because there's a valley in the middle, it's hidden. I've never seen any player actually come to the center of Hidden Valley. I've not once ever seen this unlocked. Will we see that today? Well, that's one question I guess we could pose. And have a look at this, a terrible Japanese spawn on the opening. I guess we should probably introduce our players. Ladies and gentlemen, spawning in on the southeast side of the map in the color pink, playing as the Japanese, we've got Doyakusi Japanese Twitch. Gotta get that little zoom in as well. And on the north side of the map, representing Team 3D in the color blue, playing as the English, we've got Cat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is a pleasure to be able to bring you this casted game. If you're enjoying this content and enjoying that ice skating scout down the hill, make sure you leave a like on the video. It really helps out with the traction of the content. Let's talk a little bit about this matchup. This is probably the coolest matchup that you'll get. Number one, because these two civs are by far the most popular civs that there are. With the except, I would say Byzantines is probably the same popularity as the English. The only difference is that Byzantines suck. So we're kind of left with, like, you know, we could do Byzantines against the Japanese, but it's going to be a very quick game. I think I've probably casted that matchup maybe 10 times, and I reckon the Japanese have won 8 or 9 times. It's rare to see the Byzantines win, but I tell you what, today I'm excited about this matchup because I've been in the English main for quite a long time, and only recently have I switched to the Japanese with the expansion coming out, so I feel like I've got a pretty good grasp on these two civilizations, and I'm excited to see what we're going to have in store for us today. Already we've got a bit of a curious opening coming through from Cat, as he's going to be going into the Divine DFP wheelbarrow opening. This is a wheelbarrow opening that Divine pioneered back when he was younger. I mean, technically, when we do something previously, we were always doing it when we were younger. So I make it sound like this was back when Divine was 12 years old and he's 33 now. Not the case. It was probably just last year. Probably this year. Anyway, we got 3 vils on gold. Starts off with 3 vils on gold, then 3 vils on food. Throws down the mill immediately and gets the wheelbarrow very, very quickly. The most common follow-up that you see to this is a second town center. That's the most often you will see that as the secondary thing. You can also see 3 TCs off this. It's a little bit slower with the 3rd TC, but I think overall it's definitely worth doing. But on the other side of the map, Doyakusi now looking to upgrade that town center, going to be looking for a Daimyo Mena, and we still see him on the stone here. The question is going to be, how many villagers, where does he stop? I think that's the big question. Where does he stop with the stone? Daimyo Mena comes through. I don't know whether he got that villager out. I would suspect that he did, though, based on the fact that these two guys do have their villagers up at the same time. Have we got a little bit of a delay on these villagers? It looks like we did. I think a bit of an idle time coming out here for Doyakusi. Not something that you often see out of these players. Keep in mind, both of these guys are Conqueror 3, so they are very good, very talented players. Cat now with the age up coming through. It's going to be the council hall. No real surprise here. I'm expecting the Kura storehouse going to be coming through for Doyakusi shortly. Where does he look to put it? He's got a beautiful spot right here he can throw down. And then a town center up in front of the gold. You're up against the English, so you want to try and get that down in the front of the base. You might need an outpost on this bottom side because you could try and get a wall around here, but you're probably just better off. And indeed, it does go down. So he throws it down right in the back of the base instead of going a little bit more to the side. And I like that because obviously your first farm is going to spawn at the 9 o'clock position, so naturally you're going to want to make sure that it is it's safe underneath the town center. Towards that north side though, Doyakusi, he's got to be careful. He's getting pretty close to where that enemy position is now. Has Cat spotted out the plan from his opponent? It doesn't look like it. So because of that, Cat doesn't really know whether his opponent's going into 1 TC, 2 TC, what the plan is, but I'm sure he can infer, judging by the civilization, that it's likely going to be a 2 civilization play. It's kind of rare to see Japanese do anything other. It seems to be the 2 TC play is by far the most common. And what's interesting to note is that Doyakusi's actually gone with the very early Daimyo Mena, which is something that, I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of. Have a look at this. He's still on stone. Still on stone. Is connected. He's collected more than 400 at this stage, but still he looks to hold it. Are we going to see 3 TC Japanese? This is my theory. I feel like 3 TC Japanese actually makes sense. I think if you're going to do a build order, you want to try and time it. Okay, he's pulled off. All right. I was going to say, it's starting to get a little bit crazy. 3 TC Japanese actually makes sense because often the most common response you see to a 2 TC is just to go 2 TC yourself. You scout the enemy on stone, you pop a mining camp on the stone outcropping, you go for stone yourself. But then you put a 3rd TC down, and now all of a sudden you've got an advantage. Either your enemy's going to try and meet you with their own 3rd TC, or they're going to put the pressure somewhere. And the good news is, 3 TCs will scale quickly enough that 2 TCs really can't do a lot of damage to it. That's something that we learned quite often in matchups like the Abbasid matchup. We saw that quite often in the English matchup as well. One of the few matchups where it doesn't work is the Chinese matchup, and that's because Song Dynasty allows so quickly to build that villager lead for the 2 TC play, or not build the lead, but rather catch up on the economy so quickly that they're able to take advantage of it. But anyway, let's get into this match. Let's talk a little bit about it, because we have got a second TC coming up right now for Duyukusi. Where's he going to go, and why is it not going to be on the gold? Come on, I see those villagers moving over. There we go. There he goes. He brings it down. He throws it down exactly where you'd expect, in the front of the gold. As I said, I still think he's probably going to need to throw a wall down here just because of longbows. You know, a single longbow coming out. Oh, is that cat? Yeah, so I was going to say, this is part of the reason why it's so important to scout your enemy, because you should know that, number one, your enemy is going to be going for a second TC, and that it's likely to be on the second, or it's likely to be on the gold. So you can kind of nullify there, but we have a nice little spot here. Is he able to reach? He can't get past the TC in this situation. He's going to try. Duyukusi, are you going to let him know that the villagers jump inside the TC? He says, get on back. Don't even try. Get on out of here. Longbow was not going to make it through there. You might have to bring a second or a third one, but then I think the villagers can just eat him alive once he's inside. So that's another thing to note. But you can see the importance of knowing that layout of the enemy base, because had that longbow been down here, there's a good chance he might have caught a villager or two. But Duyukusi, second TC up. Now 3D Cat also looking for that second TC, and he's going to put it on the gold. So this to me indicates both players just going to be happy with 2 TCs. Normally, if you're going for a 3 TC, you'll put that town center on the stone, just because then you build it with the stone villages. Makes it a little bit easier to macro for that third TC. It's not about protecting the stone. Well, I mean, it is about protecting the stone initially, but it's more just, it's an easier spot to drop it. But now, take a look at this. Duyukusi going to be throwing down a barracks early on in this feudal age. 7 minutes through. Timing a little bit off on this second TC. But I like it. I'm liking it, how it's going so far. Throws the farmhouse down on the deer pack. And now in the back of the base, we've got a longbow just working its magic. It's got 2 health left on it, so it's going to need somebody just to sneeze at it, and it will eventually go down. And have a look at this cat, just looking to wall the entirety of the map. I didn't even know you could wall in like this. This is kind of like a good way to scout where all the enemy, or where all the resources are. You could see, oh, well, there's probably a wood line here. Indeed, there is. It's, I guess that's a cool little indication. But I guess that's the intended behavior at this stage. Now, working towards that castle age. 9 villagers on gold. Quite a lot of villagers on gold. So I'm expecting he's probably going to be looking to get upgrades. Normally with that many vills on gold. Okay, he's going to pull them off. I was going to say, this is a lot of villagers on gold. Normally you want about 5 vills on gold. You can run 10 vills on gold if you're going 3 TC, if you want to do upgrades. But yeah, that was definitely a huge amount. But now, he's got the deer in the back of his base. Mill's obviously down. Yet to get those upgrades through. Obviously has the wheelbarrow. And now adding in additional farms around the town center. Tell you what, this is starting off as a beautiful game. We've got a very passive opening, which I'm a big fan of. You know, you guys know I love late game casts. I love casting civilizations that make it to the late game. I love watching those big battles unfold in the late game where you just see 100 units against 100 units, and I'm hoping that's what we're going to see here, because Duyukusi's planning on taking it late. We can say that much, and it feels like Cat is probably doing the same thing when you consider the fact he is walling ever so slowly across this map. Duyukusi now going to be finding him, interrupting him, standing in the way and saying, excuse me, sir, you're not going to be allowed to build this wall. It is, it's like, I need the inverse of Trump, because when it comes to building a wall, you know, Trump is wonderful to reference, but when it comes to not building a wall, I don't know, who do we talk about when it comes to not building a wall? Maybe like, what was his name? Not Ron Paul. Bernie Sanders. Oh man, Bernie. Tell you what, Bernie Sanders. What could have been, hey? What could have been? But look, we'll avoid politics for now, and we'll forget about this wall. Or will we? Oh, it's coming back. Donald Trump, the female version. She wants to build the wall. I love the way that the Onabagashia came through here, and then just kind of like, it was following the villager, and he was like, I'm just going to send it north instead. And now it's like, this is the punishment that you get. And the scout isn't even going to spot this. It doesn't even know. So this whole wall is going to get up. And 3D Cat with an early little victory, an early little win here. Now beginning to move out, starting to take out on the Huns here. One thing to note, he's yet to pick up Takazuki, which would be empowering these berry bushes to go even faster, even harder. And he's got quite a few farms here. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did he build these? I feel like he's built these farms down here. Interesting. What's the rate that it gives you? The Kura storehouse? I think it's, you get a farm every 45 seconds. So that's 75 wood every 45 seconds. So it's 100 wood a minute, if I'm mathing that out correctly. And then you build the farm. And then I think when it's finished making the farms around it, it gives you 45 wood a minute as like a trickle. So we'll have to pay attention to that and see what we get. But indeed, it's 45 seconds. But now, scouts, Onabagashia Horsemen out here as well. Onabagashia up against Horsemen. Which one wins? I don't actually know that. I feel like the Onabagashia should probably beat the Horsemen just because it attacks so fast. Might depend on upgrades though. But you can see if he had a little bit more health, he would have been fine. But now with that wall almost complete, the age-ups are coming through. Floating gate on the south side of the map. In the north side, we've got the King's Palace. No real surprise there. This is exactly what you'd expect these civilizations to be looking to go into. And I'm loving the King's Palace on this wood line in the middle. A great, reliable way to pick up that wood. Now barracks being thrown down as well. So you're going to be 2 TC up against 3 here for the Japanese. Duyukusi might have to start thinking outside the box about how he responds to this, because we're at 50 villagers apiece now. And this will mean that eventually Cat will reach a maximum villager amount before his opponent will. Slowly the farms continue to grow. 51 villagers apiece. These guys are neck and neck. Upgrades continue to come through. Still sitting on the Daimyo Manor though. No Daimyo Palace just yet. But now, looking for veterancy on those samurais. The first of the Yoroshiros come out. It goes into the barracks. See, this is where I feel like this is a bit of a mistake. I think the Yoroshiro in the barracks makes a lot of sense if you're going into a 1TC playstyle. Because 1TC, you don't have a lot of villagers, you don't have a big economy, so that extra wood that you can get is really important, right? Because you've gone here, essentially this barracks has become 3 barracks. So you've gained, it's like gaining 300 wood immediately. Versus putting it into a forge, which becomes 300 gold after 4 minutes. So it's like an investment, essentially. But for me, it feels like, you know what? Like, at this stage of the game, you could very easily afford to throw down, is he really putting... Oh, okay, I was going to say, is he really putting them in both the barracks? Is he looking for some kind of timing? And I could imagine a timing making sense here, because you'd be pulling, 600 wood out of thin air and putting them into your barracks, but it's such a delay that you're putting onto your gold income. So I don't know how I feel about that, but already knights are out. Exactly what he should be doing. Cat doing the right thing. To town center, into the cavalry. Makes a lot of sense. You want to get those knights out onto the map. Remember, previously, the English had the best knights in the game. A lot of people didn't realize that, but they were actually better than French knights. And the reason why is because of the attack speed bonus that the civilization gets. Now, obviously, that's assuming that they're fighting near an outpost or a town center or a keep. But as long as they are, they will be able to take out any of the enemy knights easily. Now, I don't know how that changes with things like the Imperial Guard, with the Cataphract, but obviously they would still stand a pretty good chance here. English Knights, definitely something to be keeping in your mind. Looks like more Knights going to be heading out here. He's got the double monastery up behind this as well. Cat's not doing too bad when it comes to mastery of the English, and it looks like that relic on the front will be taken. So that's going to be 2 in the bag for him. He's got 2 more safely on this north side behind the wall, so that's going to be 4 against 1 on the relic count. Always feels a little bit awkward being down on the relics, especially when you age up so quickly after your opponent. These guys were within 2 seconds of each other on the age up. So it really feels like there's no excuse, especially in a matchup like this. But have a look at this. Got a lot of villagers on this gold vein. He's going to be needing to move out shortly. Players, I suspect, will be prioritizing this bottom side of the map just because you do have the larger gold veins down here. And oh my god, is he Imperial or... Wow, okay. That is so damn quick. He is already clicking Imperial. Why did he put the Yoroshiro in here then? I could see it in the town center. I could see it in the forge, but to put it in the barracks just doesn't make sense to me. No, you're not going for any kind of timing. That was wild. I didn't expect that. Oh my lord. So with the Takanoshima Gunsmith, this is a huge landmark because it brings online your Imperial Age so much faster than other landmarks can, because immediately you build it and you get a rebate. Your rebate, it's 5 units, and he's going to opt for the hand cannoneers, the units with the best voice line in the game. Get ready for this. Here we go. All right, hand cannoneers moving out here. I'm curious. It's curious that he went into the hand cannoneers rather than going into the Ozutsu. I feel like the Ozutsu is going to get nerfed, man. That unit is absolutely ludicrous. And now backing off away from the front here. This is curious because he was definitely in a position where he could have gone for a little bit of a pincer. Doesn't do it though. Spearman beginning to move into position. And it looks like Cat might be going for the same thing. Look at the resources stacking up for these players. we really have a fast Imperial face-off right now. This is what is happening. Another hand cannoneer comes out now. He's going to start producing them together, and you can just see how much damage these guys are doing up against those knights. He knows exactly where he's going. Another villager now going to go down. That's going to be 3 in favor of Cat. Slowly building up that villager lead. You can see with that third TC. He's working it, baby. He's working it. 15 vills up at the moment. But I tell you what, I'm starting to worry here. The hand cannoneer is coming out. It's very interesting to me that he went for the hand cannoneer rather than the Ozutsu. Why would you do that? So the Ozutsu, it's very decent. It's a really good unit. It's good at killing. There it is. There's the Imperial. It's going to be the Berkshire. No, he cancels it. He puts it up a little bit further. Okay, he's going a little bit more aggressive with it. It is quite literally fast Imperial face-off. I don't think I've ever seen 2 fast Imperials come through this quickly. Both of the Imperial Ages dropped before the 16-minute mark. That is incredible. What a response from Cat here. Acknowledging, you know what? My enemy's going Imperial Age. I need something to defend against that, and it's going to be the Berkshire Palace. And then you go to Imperial Age. You've got such great access to Imperial technologies here for the English. Really important ones. Things like your enclosure technology, a really strong upgrade there. Things like the Trebuchet upgrade as well, something that we haven't seen in a while, but basically turns your Trebuchets into 16-range mangonels. So that could be another option for him here. But with that age up coming through 16 minutes in, expect this entire southwest side to be locked down completely. Players are pretty happy, though, that they've managed to secure up the gold on this side of the map. And you can see that Cat's got plenty of gold back here. He's got a gold vein on the top side, gold veins down here on the south. And compare that to Diakusi, he's looking pretty even as well. The one difference is his gold vein is over towards the east side, so they're not all kept together. But now, look at the amount of villagers that are out here. 26 villagers on this big gold. You definitely think you could invest in a second forge at this stage of the game. Look how long you're going to be walking these back towards that forge. But the infantry numbers starting to rise here. You can really feel the tension beginning to build here as players look to start taking out on the map here. Let's check in with Cat and see how he's doing. Still no units in queue. Just looking for those upgrades. He's picking up, this is your classic enclosures and forestry timing. Your Dark Age tech with your Imperial Age tech. It is happening right now. We're seeing enclosures versus the Taganashima Gunsmith. But when it comes to, let's talk about hand cannoneer versus Ozutsu. I wonder if he's going to make an Ozutsu so we can compare the pair. Do we? Yeah, we see he's got 5 Ozutsu already out. Where are they though? Is it just me, or does my minimap rotate a little bit when I zoom out? You guys see that? Yeah, you see that? It's like a little dit dit. Dit dit. There it is. There it is. It makes that sound as well, I'm sure. Okay, there are Ozutsu on this map apparently somewhere. And now throwing the forges in the back of the base is exactly what he should be doing. You want that infinite scaling with the Japanese. Samurai out. There's the Ozutsu. Okay, so I think they've got a slower attack speed. 4.75 attack speed. Up against 2.12. So they got half the attack speed of the hand cannoneers. They've got the same damage, but remember they do AoE, and they also counter buildings. They have a much greater range as well. So instead of doing 4 tiles of ranged attack, they do 6.5, which is quite a bit. So I feel like for me, the answer is clear. The Ozutsu is the right choice. But maybe just getting hand cannoneers out initially makes a lot of sense. I'm curious though, what do you think? Leave a comment on the video down below. Let me know. Is it Ozutsu for you? Or is it the hand cannoneer? Which one do you prefer? Which one's the baddest bitch in the arena? Because I'm feeling like it's got to be the Ozutsu. Just listen to the voices, okay? Do you worry about your wife with this guy at work? Or this guy? That voice is so good, dude. How did they get the voice actor to give that voice and someone's like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. Man, that voice is absolutely amazing. That's a perfect voice. All right, so the way that this map normally plays, one side of the map we fight, the other side of the map we forget. And that's what looks like is happening already in this game. The north side of the map, I think we're going to be forgetting about it. There were units up here, but with the walls coming in from both of these players and the stone wall coming in from Cat, it to me indicates that there is no intent on getting a battle going over on that side. They're going to man fight it over on the west side. Ozutsu now getting focused down by those longbows. Longbows with the elite upgrades. More and more upgrades coming through. He's looking to pick up the arrow volley. He's looking to pick up the, what do we got? Network of castles in here. So really just going ham on longbow upgrades. Exactly what he should be doing. Let's switch it over. We're 20 minutes into the game. Big economies coming out. You're talking about more than 6,000 resources here. Up against 3.9, 4.6. That's a big difference. And now the infantry moving through. Ozutsu, you hear them firing off. Absolutely destroying that longbow line. Now the samurai coming through as well. Remember, he's got the elite upgrade. He's got Odachi in as well. Means a little bit of extra bonus damage against these infantry units. He's going to head back towards that other side of the wall. You can see him trying his best to... Oh, my lord. Wow. Those Ozutsu. It's a perfectly balanced unit. It's a perfectly balanced unit. We'll say that much. Numbers definitely in favor of Katsu, and this is the third TC difference. Surely it's not this much, though. Duyakushi, I don't think he's not training 100% uptime on his town centers, that's for sure. Because 132 vills against 98, he shouldn't be there. He should be like 110 to 115 at this stage of the game. This is definitely, maybe even like 120. So it's a... should he be, though? 20 minutes? Carry the one. Is 3 TC versus 2 TC that big of a difference? Surely not. That third TC was pretty late. Unless he went for a 4th TC. I don't think he did. No, I can't see it on the minimap. Interesting. Have we got trade getting set up yet? I'm just like thinking out loud at this stage. It's like, you know what? It feels like a kind of game where players are looking to begin setting up trade. And you can see that Cat's already managed to secure his trade post quite happily. Outposts are coming up. He's looking to line this north side of the map with outposts. And now we've got stone walls coming up. They are quite literally just stonewalling in on this north side. They just want a man fight on the south, and I respect that. I'm exactly the same. No run-bys allowed. Just me, you, our economies pumping units in towards the front. I'll see you there. 21 minutes in. It really feels like no rush. We've got ourselves a no rush game that is happening right now. What is it? No rush 20? It feels like this is happening. No rush has come to the professional leagues. And now we just kind of sit and we just wait. I mean, the Berkshire, it's standing by. This is what all... I'm going to say it right now. This is what all of the campaign players dream about. I know because I used to be a campaign player. For me, it was always about no rush games. Oh, man, I love no rush games. I've talked about it before, but I'll talk about it again. I've had a number of good experiences in my life with no rush. So, it started out with my dad when I was about 8 years old, 9 years old, when Total Annihilation came out. And it was hard, right? Because Dad, he's an absolute RTS beast. He's been playing Dark Reign and StarCraft. He knows what's up when... when Total Annihilation comes out. Meanwhile, I'm just a scrub. So I said, no rush, Dad. 1 hour, no rush. Oh, have a look at this. Duyakushi pushing up. Oh, my lord, look at the damage to the keep. He almost one-shots the keep into the Netherlands. Into the Netherlands. What was I going for there? I don't know. Anyway, that's the first example I've got. Second example, you guys might like this if you haven't heard this story already. I used to play Age of Empires 3. And I'd say no rush 20 minutes. And then I'd rush. We've got a massive battle unfolding though. The no rush period has finally ended. The samurai on the front up against the men at arms. Extra damage against extra armor. Longbows need to make sure they're teeing off towards these Ozutsu. Indeed they are, but they're firing down. The keep's going to go down. Hand cannoneers on the back. Look at the Ozutsu blasting through onto that mass at the back. You can see them focusing in with that extra damage or the extra range that they've gotten. The samurai just absolutely clean up all of the men at arms. It is not even close. English men at arms against Japanese samurai. I know which one I'd prefer. With the samurai, it is like it's like a Holy Roman Empire men at arms, but so much better. So much better. I mean, do you really want the extra little bit of damage against knights, or do you just want to kill every single infantry unit that's ever existed? I know what I'm taking. I'm taking these bad boys right here, the elite samurai. These guys are so damn good. Look at the damage that they've got. 14 base damage and a casual +7. It's just like it's there. Just an extra 7 damage. Everyone else is rocking like 3 extra damage. These bad boys. Oh, I take it back. Elite men at arms with 5 extra damage. How do you get 5 extra damage? Oh, from Elite Army Tactics. Wait, does he have Elite Samurai don't even have Elite Army Tactics yet. Oh, he's going to get even more damage coming through. But now, once again, Ozutsu teeing off on the back. The samurai numbers looking solid. The counterweight trebuchet is going to come out here. Looks to begin trebbing down that... I was going to say the wild tree. No, it's the Berkshire Palace. You can see it's starting to help out. The Berkshire Palace is working on these frontline units, and you can see it cleaning up. You're going to have so much trouble pushing past this at this stage of the game. Now the Japanese player forced back. Hand cannoneer is able to clear out a lot of that front line, and he is forced back towards this keep. Big damage coming out from the castle. It's got the cannon emplacement. It's got the rocket. You can see the rocket able to take out these men at arms. So we're missing... There it is. It's not Elite Army Tactics. It's Oda Tactics. Now, that's only 20%. I'm pretty sure... Isn't this 30%? They get plus 36. It's 180 health. No, that's 20% as well. Okay, never mind. Never mind, we're okay. We're okay. Took me a while. So that means that these numbers are going to get even more ridiculous. If you thought Japanese infantry was doing well, you just wait for this bad boy to come in. That's 20% on top of everything else. And that stacks with your numbers. So if you've got +1, that's 1.2. I mean, obviously we don't do integers in this game. I mean, we technically do, but I don't know exactly how it works. Because sometimes you see like units surviving with 0 health. And you're like, how does this guy live? And that's the answer. It's because it's hidden in the decimals. But now with this upgrade coming through, Duyukusi, economy nowhere near as big as the English economy, which is kind of wild to me. You know, we're talking 4K, 6.6K, 8K, more than 8,000 income coming through for our English player. Compare that to the Japanese, and you're looking at, what, 4,000, 6,000, 6,500 maybe on a good day? Probably on a bad day, 6K, flat. And that's not pretty. I mean, you got problems like this, right? Like where you should... Wait, he's already broken through. He already broke through the middle, and he's already taken the sacred side. Wow. Okay, he could look for a sacred victory here. And now the Japanese units get their upgrade and they've got plus 11 damage. That is absolutely ludicrous here. We're entering into the cinematic mode. The Trebs are just taking it all home right now. Teeing off towards that Berkshire. The Japanese, the English, the Trebuchet is looking to take down that Berkshire. He needs to pull villagers, and that's exactly what he's going to do here. Keep in mind, it's going to take wood to repair that one, so you can technically repair it forever because it doesn't cost stone. And now more and more Ozutsu joining the fight behind this. The Samurai is being rallied towards the front. The Bannerman has gone down, but his banner stands strong. Look at the banners out here. And now the neutralize the sacred site objective, which just gets past all the UI commands. You can remove all UI, and that piece of UI is like, hey, I'm still here, baby. I'm still gonna let you know. I know you wanted no UI. How's this for UI? All right, well, Ozutsu continue to push up. He's looking to try and hit the longbows on the back. He's getting very close, though. A little bit too close for comfort. He was trying to hit the outpost. I take it back. And now going to be able to focus down those longbows. Look at the AoE damage comes through. Japanese late game is looking impressive. This is the ultimate late game test that we are seeing for the Japanese here. Up against one of the best civilizations in the late game. Berkshire, it's still strong. It's still standing. Ozutsu moving forward. Going to be able to take it out. One more round of shots. Should be able to do it. There they go. Boom, boom, boom. Like the Venga boys all over again. They do not want you in their room. They don't even want you in their game. Get out of here, English Berkshire. Not enough villagers on the front. We should have had 30 villagers there. But still, those longbows holding on for dear life. Managing a solid defense in this situation. And now the Samurais, once again, cleaning up the front line. Look how many he's got here. The men-at-arms. And I think this is what makes the Japanese so difficult to fight in the late game. I think this is what makes them... One of the best late game is the Samurai. The Odachi. The Samurai are really strong because they're a men-at-arm replacement. You don't have to watch them. You don't have to micro them. You just let them go, like Elsa. The problem is, they kill everything. They're good at killing everything. You don't care if they fight knights, because if they do, you go back, make a couple of spears. You're absolutely fine. But he's slowly getting whittled down here. That's the big thing. The hand cannoneer numbers have started to fall, but there's still a couple of them out here. You can see them sitting underneath the trees, slowly but steadily, working on that front line. It just feels like you're just having a really bad trade. To be honest, I think they should increase the cost of the Samurai. Maybe make it cost a little bit more than what it does. It feels like such a good unit, man. Where is it? Only, dude, you're paying 10 gold more than a man-at-arms for this Samurai. That is insane. You know what's wild? Is I'm pretty sure a Palace Guard almost costs the exact same amount as the Samurai. And the Samurai is just like a god tier unit. I tell you what, the Samurai is an amazing unit. And now all 3 sacred sites taken by our English player. Sacred victory, 7 minutes, 30 seconds away. So he's 1/4 of the way through. Let's check in with the base, see how it's doing. He's got plenty of farms back here. Let's double check and see. 72 farms. He's got that enclosures upgrade. He is pumping out units non-stop at this stage of the game. He's finding that last little bit of wood, and I wouldn't be surprised. There's the market. You can see the market has come down, and he's looking to put down triple markets. I was going to say, I wouldn't be surprised to see trade coming out any second now, and we do indeed see trade on the field here. Both of these players are preparing for it. We can see they're clearing out the corners, but I think that just might be because they're running out of resources. And in the middle, battering rams coming out. Finally, we get to see him, the Samurai on the front here. Duyukusi might have to think about adding in a few more Samurai. We can hear those longbow ranged volleys getting thrown out here as well. And plenty of battering rams making their way through. Berkshire is back up, baby. Don't forget the Berkshire. And now we're in this stage of the game where it's just constant spam towards this position. It's about who runs out of resources first. This is a classic no rush 20 minutes situation. The 30-minute mark has now been crossed. Gold is starting to run dry on this map. Take a look and see if you can spot any gold out here. We got 3.6 gold over on 3.6k gold over on that east side. But other than that, it is going to be your English enclosures that are empowering up that gold economy for our English player. Keep in mind on the other side, you have got infinite scaling coming through from Duyakusi, from these forges. You can see he's got all of them down here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 forges that have now got their Yorishiro bonus going on. Remember, he's also got the 5th one up here that's got that bonus as well. And this is where it comes back to my statement earlier about the value that you get from putting the Yorishiro into that barracks is just wasted. It's so massively wasted. You think about that Yorishiro. Let's say it came up at 10 minutes. You've lost 1,500 gold. Imagine you're just sitting here, 1,500 gold into your coffers. That's the difference that it makes, putting that Yorishiro into a forge versus putting it into a barracks. It is a much greater advantage that you hold with that Yorishiro in the forge. But now the mangoes are out. He said, I've had a little bit of trouble dealing with your ranged units. Gonna need to call out some mangoes, and indeed he does. Plenty of mangoes are able to take out that backline. This is where Cat needs to begin building trebuchets. The trebuchets are your long-range springalds. As long as he's able to build them with the upgrade, they need to have the special upgrade that increases their AoE damage. Let's see if we can find a Siege Workshop back here. Doesn't look like he's got one just yet. So may need to think about getting one up. Look to get those upgrades online. We can now see chemistry coming through for Duyakusi as well. I don't think chemistry affects mangonels. 99% sure it doesn't. I don't think these guys are that. I don't think they are chemistry related. All right, well, at this point in time, a slight score advantage for Duyakusi. We can see these guys are pretty much maxed out. The one difference here is that the economies of these players. Let's take a look. 1,500 plus 4k, so 5.5k. You're talking about 7k resource income. Compared to Duyakusi, you're sitting on 2.4, 3.3. So, geez Louise, that's some big numbers there. 5.7, so 6.5. So still a pretty close battle at this point in the game when it comes to the economies. The one thing to note, though, it's going to be... Yeah, I thought this was going to be the case. You've got farms that are really far away from their drop-off point. And we've seen players do this before. And the trouble that you've got here, fortunately he's got them on the other side, is that you've got a really long walk distance for these villages. So he's going to have to walk all the way down to this TC. And that reduces his efficiency significantly. Battering rams moving forward. Sacred Site, 4 minutes left on it. Duyakusi wants to threaten it. You can see that Cat's starting to drop on that resource counter. At the moment, still 1,500 gold coming in. Remember, he's got those relics as well in the bag. It's important to note he did go for double monastery, did pick up the Tithe Barns. He's got plenty of stone trickling in for himself as well. Could look to place a keep down, and we can hear those Ozutsu just cleaning up on the back line, slowly but steadily firing off into the massive units. Battering rams working to take out the Berkshire, and now that Sacred Site is getting neutralized towards the east side. 3 minutes and 57 seconds, just under 4, but they've got a little bit distracted here. They've gone off the mark, and it's going to continue ticking downwards. A terrible, terrible, unfortunate event right here, and now all of a sudden the crossbows have realized they've got their elite upgrades through as well. Has he not got incendiary arrows? How come these only have 3 damage? He doesn't have incendiary arrows. He's got all of these crossbows and longbows, but he doesn't have incendiary arrows? No! Massive mistake coming. How? How do you not have incendiary arrows as the English? And how are we only realizing that? No wonder it's not going well for him. This is a massive mistake coming out from Cat right here. Oh, this is absolutely terrible. He's got chemistry, doesn't he? He's got chemistry. He's literally got chemistry with no chemistry units. And doesn't have incendiary arrows. Oh, you can see just how overwhelmed he is now. The battering rams making their way through. He needs to bring men at arms to this Sacred Site. I don't know whether he was seriously thinking or tilting it, going for that sacred victory, but it is gold, passive gold, that's slowly coming into his pocket. You can see it's a bit of a struggle now. Cat trying to get his head above water. Plenty of production back here, working its way through, but the battering rams are going to be the key savior for Duyakusi as that Sacred Site is indeed neutralized. Court Architects now in the way for Cat. Wants to get a little bit more defensive. Needs to be cognizant of this north side of the map. It always does have a potential to open up a new front. Got to be really careful with this and make sure you keep an eye on it. Make sure you've got, you want to try and keep this as a DMZ as much as possible. But it's not always the case. All right, well, more and more samurai continue coming to the front. The Katana Bannerman, these guys are absolutely destroying it as well. Remember, these guys do very, very well You can actually make lots of these units if you want to continue pumping up that Shogunate Castle. So you go from one Shogunate Castle to a second one to a third one. You can keep adding them in and get more and more Bannermen, because the Bannermen are actually really good units individually. Not just the fact that they also provide that little bit of a bonus damage. Now another keep going to be coming up, fighting for dear life. The castle on the back line for Duyukusi wants to solidify this position, does not want to allow this sacred site any longer to be held by his opponent. Now, one thing to note is trade is going to start to get threatened here. You can see Cat's got 15 traders at the moment. Needs to think about moving that market towards the back, just to buy himself a little bit more space between these two. But the infantry continues to push in at this stage. Castle's now online. It's going to start whittling down these forces one by one. You can see it firing off. Remember, every shot is a one-shot when you've got a castle involved. These guys get a huge amount of bonus damage against infantry, against cavalry. I don't actually think they one-shot the... by the looks of it, they don't one-shot the horsemen. So they'll one-shot... They won't one-shot the men-at-arms either. But they'll one-shot the backline, and that's what's important. Trebs working their magic through. Duyukusi now with the no-rush. The no-rush professional is coming out here. Duyukusi, I tell you what, I didn't think coming into it he'd be doing this well, but he's having a good time against the English. But now look at this, an overwhelming number of English units making their way out. How is he down to 2,700 income on the food? I think it's because he's had to pull villagers. He's brought all of the villagers forward from these farms. Normally these farms would be working with villagers, plenty of them, but you can see as a result of this push from his opponent, he's had to take plenty of villagers forward, but now going to be able to repel it. And all of a sudden, he's going to need some sort of siege to deal with these castles. Now, these castles do also have boiling oil. Remember that. So you can't get too close to them. It will come out on the ground. Kind of looks like warm custard. Maybe custard mixed with lava. It's not the type of custard you'd want to be eating on a Saturday night. We'll say that much. But now, still fighting off. Trying to find a way through. The battering rams looking towards that Berkshire. It's not yet up. It's about half health at the moment. He's got only 7 villagers working towards it. You can see he wants to try and deny it as much as possible, forcing the units to choose. Are you going to take out the battering rams, or are you going to take out the units? If you don't take out the battering rams, well, they're going to kill your landmark, aren't they? And that's the smart thing about going for these battering rams. And now, as a result of going for the battering rams, all of the infantry just gets an absolute free pass to take out the units here. And Cat is in an awkward spot because these are one population battering rams that have got 500 health. They just soak up so much damage. You really want to avoid fighting them when you're fighting up against enemy armies like this, especially if you don't have the numbers. And you can see him trying to keep this Berkshire alive. But at the end of the day, I don't even think it matters. It's almost like a little bit of a bait. The Berkshire is a bait right now. And now slowly that castle firing down. Looked like it hit the villagers there. It's actually firing at the Berkshire Palace, and the Berkshire goes down. And now all of a sudden, the tables have turned. The English were looking really good all of a sudden, but he committed to taking out the rams. And now you can see the power of the ram in the late game. You have to commit so many resources to kill the ram when it only costs 1 population. At least, I'm pretty sure it still costs 1 population, right? Yeah, I think 1 population. I want to say 1 pop. Siege Workshop. Well, the other ones say 3 pops, so I'm just going to assume it's 1 pop. Now beginning to work on the rest of the production. The keep up on the backside still yet to have its boiling oil through, so it means it's not going to be really dealing with this massive unit. So Zutsu coming down, another keep thrown down by Duyukusi. He's starting to cement this position more and more, and I'm starting to think this might be over. Once he gets into the trade line, and that's exactly where he is, the majority of the gold is going to be stopping here for Cat. Of course, he's still got the farms going. Now you've got problems in Farm Paradise as well. Let's check the other side of the map. It doesn't look like any position has been built for either of these players. It's a main focus over on the west side, and we can say that the no-rush champion of the world is going to be the Japanese. I tell you what, this civilization looks absolutely insane in the late game. It is starting to get scary how good this civ is. But I got to be honest, I think the real MVP here were the battering rams. We literally got to witness it firsthand just how powerful those battering rams were. The fact that he was able to divert the attacks from his enemy into the battering rams meant he was just able to clean up the army. So pretty big move right there. Mogul move. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check him out. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can watch Duyukusi, to where you can watch Cat, and of course, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.